Okay. Hey, everybody. Hello, hello. It's Terry Luongo, and welcome to our Monday night Team Up Zoom. I am so happy to be with you tonight. Can you believe that it is the first Monday night of August? I can't. Summer is flying by, so I'm hoping that you are really enjoying your summer because I certainly am. Okay, tonight's call is a recording with Dr. Mitra Ray and Dr. Tamara Sachs, and it was recorded just a week ago. So this is all brand new information from Dr. Mitra Ray. You guys know that she's a cell biologist. She is a powerful voice when it comes to understanding the microbiome. And she does an incredible job tonight. Take notes of explaining polyphenols, the role that they play in the microbiome, and then understanding how in the Juice Plus world, we have been in the polyphenol conversation for over 20 years. And just because now it is like the new hot buzzword, it's been in our conversation for 20 years, and it's part of our research showing how polyphenol levels elevate in the plasma when you take Juice Plus. So take good notes. Kathy, when you're ready, okay, it's a 30-minute call. Put your feet up, and we'll get this started.
And of course, don't forget, everybody, we're on YouTube, so there might be some commercials that I can't control.
Here, as this group has gathered every Monday night for way more than my 26 years. We're here because we have partnered with an amazing company called Juice Plus, and our mission is to inspire healthy living around the world. As part of that mission, we love learning and teaching. We're passionate about health and science and also about building communities. So every Monday night, we gather here to hear from an expert speaker. And tonight is really a special treat for me to be able to host my dear friend and brilliant colleague, Dr. Mitra Ray. But first, let me just take one more moment to tell you about this Juice Plus company that we're all part of. It's a really remarkable company. It was started back in 1970 by our founder, Mr. J. Martin, and he had a mission to bring to the market products that truly enhance or protect people's quality of life. And 50 years later, we are still doing that.
What's the worst part of doing keto? Come in, children.
Juice Plus is in over 26 countries with our plant-based products and partnership business opportunities. And the Juice Plus company is recognized as the global leader in plant nutrition. They were the pioneers, the innovators, 33 years ago when they started this shift from isolated vitamins to whole food. And then when healthcare practitioners came to them and said, this stuff is amazing, you have to study it to understand the results that we're seeing. Well, they did. And they have invested millions in clinical research over the past 30 years to prove the power of the synergy of 30 properly grown and processed real plant foods. In addition, J. Martin put into place an opportunity to engage individuals from all walks of life to join this mission of inspiring healthy living by sharing the Juice Plus products, creating healthier communities, and being compensated for their efforts. So with that background, let me welcome our very special speaker this evening, my friend, Dr. Mitra Ray. Dr. Ray has over 30 years of experience. She's helped people achieve remarkable success in both looking and feeling better. But she's a very serious scientist. She received her Bachelor's of Science at Cornell University and her PhD from Stanford Medical School. She is the recipient of several NIH grants, as well as the Young Investigators Award from the Federation of American Societies in Experimental Biology. Would be a mouthful, but not for us in this crowd. Her research has been published in their very prestigious journals, including Science, the Proceedings, the National Academy of Science, and the Journal of Cell Biology. Those of you that are healthcare people in the field understand the level at which these journals and this science must be at. So she's had audiences in over 4 continents, and thousands of people have had a chance to see her live. They've enjoyed her books as well as her lectures on health and beauty and brain function. and longevity. And tonight, I can't wait to hear what she's going to be sharing with us. Mitra, are you there, Dr. Ray?
I am, and thank you for that gracious introduction. I'm humbled, and I'm going to start by sharing my screen here. Let's see. Let me see if you are seeing. Let me know if you're seeing what I want you to see. Okay, perfect. Okay. So the topic of health is broad and vast and often overwhelming. And I could talk about many things tonight, like fitness, yoga, meditation, hydration, sleep, traditional medicine, alternative medicine. You get the idea. And as a cell biologist by training, I like to start the conversation at the cellular level. I've been studying health for 4 decades, actually. I should change my bio. No need to guess my age. I'll tell you chronologically speaking. I just turned 61, and there's also this concept of biological age, and that's determined by different kinds of tests. And based on whatever test you're looking at, I fall somewhere in my late 20s to my mid 40s, depending on which test. But in my own life, self-care is my number one priority because I have and will continue to take care of a lot of people in my life, but I can't do any of that if I don't take care of myself first. And self-care for me begins by taking care of the greatest population of cells in the body, which by far is your microbiome, which represents all the bacteria and other little microorganisms that live in your body. There's 10 times more of them than human cells in our body. So are we really human beings, or are we just super hosts to a whole world of microorganisms? Your microorganism consists mostly of the bacteria in your gut. And to study the gut microbiome, well, scientists mostly look to our poop. So let's get into some poop data. Here you're seeing a cross-sectional analysis of over 10,000 fecal samples from participants in the USA, UK, and Australia. Basically, individuals completed health status and dietary questionnaires. There were people that ate less than 10 plants a week or more than 30 plants a week. So the light green curve is less than 10, and this is more than 30. And so there's a little gap here between the two, but this is a big gap actually, because this big gap actually represents the diversity of the microbiota. So diversity is the key of tonight's discussion. So in order to take control of our health, we're going to discuss what to eat. We're going to discuss meaningful supplementation with functional ingredients. We're going to discuss gut health, and we're going to discuss research. So if I were to ask you, which of those two pictures is most appealing to you instinctively, which would you choose? We like the one on the right, right? Because it represents not only life, but diversity of life. A healthy ecosystem is one that has diversity. And the more you learn about plants, it's fascinating how they talk to each other and support each other and keep each other from check, from overgrowing. So diversity is really, again, the theme of the day. And it's the same with our own microbiome. We as humans thrive on our gut microbial diversity. We evolved with this diversity. The sad truth is, though, in the developed world, modernization has led to a critical loss in that diversity. So I love to teach people the shortest path to get that diversity back. Now, your DNA, despite what you hear, is not your destiny for a variety of reasons. Your genes are stretches of DNA that code for making enzymes and structural proteins that allow you to function as a human being. However, you've got good genes and you've got genes that go haywire. And lifestyle factors play a huge role in which of those genes actually regulate your body. And you want to move through the world being able to adapt quickly to your environment, and a diverse microbiome can give you that adaptability. So an example of being able to adapt well is how well you function under pressure. And pressure comes from many fronts, like work stress, viruses and bacteria that challenge your immune system, life events that challenge your emotional well-being, and so on. So how do we create microbiome diversity that gives us this adaptability? The answer again comes back to the plants on this planet. The more I research the topic of nutrition and health, the more I realized that we can never eat enough plants, and therefore enough fiber and diversity of fiber even. Nomadic tribes get over 100 grams of fiber a day, whereas we struggle to get the recommended 30 grams. So the diversity of microbes that can break down resistant starches and fiber is what we want to acquire. So we first published the human genome, that means our own DNA sequence, around 1990. And then we continued to refine this sequencing of DNA for like another 3 decades. And because of advances in the speed and the cost of sequencing going down, we can now sequence much faster. So we were able to take on sequencing the entire microbiome. That's like 100 times more genetic material than our own DNA. Now, if you look at this entire human microbiome project.
We'll cut to the chase. Since the beginning of time, humans have been trimming their nails. So why don't
we see that the USA is represented by these orange dots, and the US population really struggles to get the fiber in their diet, whereas nomadic tribes, as I discussed, get about 100 grams of fiber regularly. So this is, let's for the mathematicians in the room, you probably get this, but this is like this is a 3-dimensional graph. This is like, let's say this is x-axis, y-axis here, and z-axis here. So it's 3-dimensional. Down here at 0, 0, 0, at the intersection is like 0 diversity. And imagine this data filling up like a room. And as you come away, you see these orange dots. But way out here is the diversity of the microbiome of the nomadic tribes compared to the US population. And again, it's because of the fiber that they eat. So let's get a visual on this. The US population diversity is represented by this devastated forest, and the nomad diversity is more like this rich Amazon. So our cities and towns are actually much less diverse than even this devastated forest because of our manicured gardens and houseplants with all the chemicals that are used. So what are we going to do? Move back to the Amazon? Live like a nomad? I don't think so. And why is it even important to repair the gut microbiome? Because bacteria make important neurotransmitters, hormones, and nutrients needed by your cells to give you that adaptive intelligence. The foods you crave are not really your cravings. Those cravings come from the bacteria in your gut that you've been feeding, and they want more of the foods that you've been eating. And they've been making the neurotransmitters and hormones that help you create those cravings. So even if I'm telling you all this, there's a voice in your head saying, don't listen to her. She's not you. You can still eat pizza or whatever your favorite food is here. It takes time to starve out those little buggers by eating different foods that feed the right bacteria. So we have to think about who we've been feeding. Depending on where your gut diversity falls in between these two extremes, your satisfaction with your own health will be represented by one of these faces. The lack of diversity leads to a host of health challenges like inflammatory bowel disease, obesity, cancer, autism. Actually, the list goes on because every health challenge has something to do with your microbiome. I actually can't go through all of it. I love to teach people how to regain that diversity in a practical manner because, well, one, it's easier actually for an adult to learn a new language than change their diet. So I know most people are not going to change their diet right off the bat. And two, food science has some amazing solutions for us that can make a change of diet easier. I've taken this approach for over 30 years, and I feel like on many levels, I'm getting younger the more I stick to the plan. I'm not perfect by any means, but I have some amazing tools that help me keep going, and I want to share those with you. And I've shared this with tens of thousands of people around the world, so I know they work. So think of your gut microbiome as like this plush green lawn, and let's see how we can best tend to it. You and your gut bacteria, let's say, are getting along fabulously because of this plush green lawn. The bacteria are healthy and they appreciate their host, you. And so they live in your gut all happy because it's warm. There's this constant supply of food. And in return, they make additional nutrients from the foods we eat, as well as neurotransmitters and hormones that help us function, as well as fighting disease by keeping your gut healthy. Now, one example of what disturbs this balance, for instance, is antibiotics. So in this graphic, most of us have had some exposure to antibiotics. And so think of these antibiotics like wiping out that microbial lawn, and it takes this big hit. And unless we're being proactive, what grows back is weeds, which in our case, in our gut bacteria, is parasitic bacteria and other small organisms that don't play nice. They literally don't care about you, their hosts. They're just there to eat, including eating parts of you, like the protective gut mucosa lining, which I'll talk more about in a few slides. So this makes us even more susceptible to more parasites and constantly challenges your immune system. So what are we going to do? Well, we can take probiotics, for instance, which are bacteria that make the environment in your gut more conducive to the good bacteria repopulating your gut. And this can have some benefit. In most countries, doctors always prescribe probiotics, for instance, when antibiotics are given. But the best thing you can do is feed your good bacteria, because they aren't all dead. They're just starving and underpopulated. And whether you like it or not, the good bacteria in your gut like a plant-based diet. That is why for centuries, people have done cleanses with eating or drinking plants. You can also replace your bacteria with fecal implants, but I'm not going to talk much about that, as it's now this specialized branch of experimental medicine to treat certain conditions with certain bacteria. In general, not a DIY method. Eating more plant matter is a DIY medicine that you can do at home. Now, I'm going to go beyond this metaphor of a lawn and really get into the biology of this a little bit deeper with you, because I believe you're here to learn. So imagine the 20-some feet of tubing that is your intestines, and in the very
you don't know what you're supposed to do, and somehow it all just comes together. And then you don't know why you wouldn't have known it in the first place.
very center is something called the gut mucosa, and that's where all the bacteria live. And their job is to help break down the food you eat into nutrients, like break down proteins into their individual little amino acids that they're made of. They also break down nutrients by digesting the fiber and starches and making what are called small chain fatty acids that are critical for your health. And the list goes on. And for all the work they do, like these good bacteria, they're plant eaters. Every time you eat, you introduce microbes into your body. And most of our immune system is challenged by the foods that we eat. Every time you eat, your immune system is on high alert. Uh-oh, what did she just eat? They put out little feelers to see what kind of parasites just entered your body. How many of you have eaten out at a restaurant? Like, do you know that most established restaurants have menus that come with a warning label? Have you seen it? Do you ignore it? Do you not see it anymore? Consumer advisory: consuming raw or undercooked meats, poultry, seafood, shellfish, eggs may increase your risk of foodborne illnesses, especially if you have certain medical conditions. It's actually far worse than this. This is, as you can imagine, a federal law that has so much history behind it. Basically, the warning is about eating animal products. Why? Because even cooked meat and fish have parasites, and they're coming in and causing inflammation and havoc every time we eat animal products. And that inflammation eventually leads to what is called dysbiosis. So let's look at, on this left side, we have gut homeostasis. Everything's cool. Commensal bacteria, another way of saying friendly bacteria. They're all good. Your mucus is intact. These are enterocytes. These are little cells that line the intestines, and they're intact. There's tight junctions between them, and your immune system is happy and it's tolerant of what's going on. All is well. This, my friends, is war or dysbiosis, where these microbes come in, they destroy the gut mucosa, and then you have leakages in your barrier to the intestines, and then this is in your blood. The immune system goes crazy, and you have the beginning of disease. So how many of you have heard of the Mediterranean diet? So what's the predominant food group here in the Mediterranean diet? Ignore the bread and the eggs and the fish and the crawfish, okay? Or whatever that is, lobster maybe. This is it, fruits and vegetables. That's the main reason the Mediterranean diet works. Because when you eat a Mediterranean diet, all is well. You have very few endotoxins, endo meaning inside your body. You've got nice small chain fatty acids, and everything is well. You've got good health. But when you look at the standard American diet, the Western diet, high fat, should also say high sugar and emulsifiers and chemicals, excuse me, you've got endotoxins going up and small chain fatty acids going down. You're breaking down the barrier and you're inducing chronic disease because now your immune system is all disturbed and you've got chronic inflammation, which is leading to chronic disease. Despite all that, I'm sure all of you have heard about the Mediterranean diet, and other than using olive oil, most people are still not eating enough fruits and vegetables, my friends. Why? Because it's hard to do. And that's why I've been taking and recommending some of these products that make it easy for us to get. Like, imagine, what if you could start your day with 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries? And this is where these Juice Plus products come in either capsule form, and now in the USA and in Europe, it also comes in a drink form. And basically you've got 10 fruits, 10 veggies, and 10 berries. And that just starts your day off right. And they've been clinically proven to be bioavailable. They get into your body, they support your immune function, they provide antioxidant protection, they decrease biomarkers of inflammation, protect your DNA, improve your brain function, cognitive function, healthy skin, dental health, cardiovascular health, lung function, metabolic health, reduce exercise-induced oxidation, and supports gut health. That's like, is there anything you can take that has that kind of clinical research? I don't know of anything that you can take other than actually eating more fruits and vegetables that will do that for you. But most people aren't doing that. And as I said, you can never eat enough. I mean, those guys in the that are nomads, you saw that kind of diversity comes from eating even more plants, right? So eat more plants and take a look at these functional food products. And what I really love about it is just how they're sourced, how they're processed. Here's a quick little video.
The product is made under strict quality measures, starting with the relationship with the farmers. They pick it at the peak of ripeness, and that's when the nutrition is most concentrated. They also are making sure that it's frozen right there on the spot, because that's where you're going to capture all the nutrition. When you capture in a frozen form, it basically just kind of keeps things intact. And then you crush it up, and then you make these amazing, very, very thin sheets, which is mind-blowing. And then that's turned into powder form. In my 27 years, I've seen a lot of these copycat products come and go. And they come and go, Juice Plus stays, because it's the standard.
Okay, so let's talk about butyrate, which is one of those small chain fatty acids. I want to kind of get into a few of the research studies behind the product. So first, a little background why this study was done. Butyrate is one of those small chain fatty acids, as I said, and that's because our commensal bacteria take the fiber and in the product and ferment and any fiber that you eat and starches, and one of the byproducts is butyrate. Butyrate is the main energy source for colonocytes, which are the cells that make up your gut lining. Really important for that gut lining. Butyrate keeps your gut environment stable and is part of the protective effect associated with dietary fiber against certain cancers. Butyrate could improve obesity and type 2 diabetes by increasing the production of certain gut hormones, which improve blood sugar balance. And butyrate targets many of the pathways associated with the progression of diseases like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, stroke, and autism. So a really key molecule. And guess what? Taking Juice Plus or superfood powders, you're creating these core blends that increase butyrate and help with glucose clearance. So there's two results here. We see more butyrate in people who take these core blends, and they see an increase in or help with glucose clearance in the blood. That's huge. Now let's talk about another group of really important compounds, maybe my favorite, polyphenols. Have you heard of them? It's really the set of compounds that help you defy your biological age. Many people have heard of resveratrol, but don't go out and buy a resveratrol supplement because there's more.
It's literally insane that most covers on the market are pink or in the shape of a flower. I don't even think this could cover a lot.
There's all these other compounds. In fact, scientists believe that there's over 8,000 polyphenols that have been identified. And
what is so amazing is Dr. Bracciani, who is a polyphenol enthusiast herself in Italy, saw our products and said, this must be a rich source of polyphenols. So she started doing bioavailability studies. Now, this first slide shows you several, like 5 of the polyphenols that were identified in the product, as well as in the blood. Within an hour, you see those polyphenols showing up. Nice bioavailability result. But I love it when science shows us more than we expected to see. And this is one of those studies. We started to see something else happen late because these subjects were studied for 10 hours before they were given any other food with polyphenols. So they wake up, they take their Juice Plus. They were given some snacks throughout this 10 hours, but nothing with more polyphenols in them. And what they saw was this, all these other polyphenols that were not in the product show up because the bacteria take the polyphenols that were in the product and turn it into these other polyphenol products that are seen. In fact, when they started to analyze all the polyphenols in the blood, yes, we see that immediate bioavailability of the polyphenols within an hour or two, but the greatest amount of polyphenols is actually seen 5 hours later. So the bacteria are taking these nutrients. And that just shows you how awesome commensal bacteria are. They are taking the foods that you're eating, or in this case, functional foods from these products, and making more polyphenols than you originally got from the product itself. Gotta love your commensal bacteria, I'm just saying. Now, what can we do to help our children get the benefit of gut health? Well, we can start to help change their cravings by getting more fruit and vegetable nutrition in them. And that's why I love the Healthy Starts program. So this little video does a great job explaining it.
So much in a young person's life is out of our control. The world is fast, unpredictable, and always changing. But one thing we can help them control is what fuels their body. And giving them a strong nutritional start to life makes all the difference. Healthy Starts is a simple, purpose-driven program from Juice Plus. If you're a Juice Plus customer, it lets you gift plant-based nutritional chewables or capsules to a young person, absolutely free, to give them a better foundation for a healthier life. Good nutrition supports a better sleep, stronger bodies, brighter futures. It's not just about how they eat. It's about building healthy habits for how they live. Reaching over 4 million people around the world, Healthy Starts is proof. Small changes can have a big impact. You can't control everything, but you can start with nutrition. Start with Healthy Starts.
So just to kind of review, anybody who starts their Juice Plus products as an adult can gift a 4-year-old or up to the age of 25-year-old living in the same household, because the product comes to the same house, the fruit and vegetable product for free. If a kid starts at 4, they can get that free till they're 25. That's kind of incredible. And you saw the results already. So that's very much worthwhile. And what I love is that they're eating more fruits and vegetables. That tells me they're changing their gut microbiome because their cravings are changing. Now, the other thing that we want to do to continue to discuss the gut health is the nutrient category, another nutrient category that's essential from plants, which is our omegas. We also need omega fats. And in nature, there isn't just omega-3. I mean, a lot of people use fish oil. I don't like fishy burps, and I don't think it's sustainable. Plus, fish don't make omegas. They get it from the algae that they eat. So Juice Plus goes to the original source, which is actually plants and algae. And what you get is what you see in Mother Nature, which is not just omega-3, but omega-5, 6, 7, and 9 in Mother Nature's natural ratios from 6 different sources. And we know that we need, at least for omega-3, we know it supports brain function, vision, heart health. And we see that clinically taking our omega blend increases that omega-3 index, which is a measure of how much omega-3 is in your red blood cells. But we're also learning all these other benefits from these other omegas that are already in the product. So I think we're going to see much more interesting results coming down the road. There's another study underway with these omegas that I'm very, very excited about. And there's 51 studies, really, like 48 that have been published, 3 that are going to be published, and then there's a few more that are underway. So the body of research continues to grow. In fact, if you want to take a picture of this QR code or this Vimeo link, this is me doing a in-depth dive into many of those studies that are discussed, including that omega-3 index study. And I just, what's so interesting to me is the NIH, the National Institutes of Health, which is like the government's Bethesda's, in Bethesda is the National, in Maryland is the National Institute of Health. They are the government's research arm. And they funded my entire research career. So I'm indebted to them. And it is not easy to get an NIH grant, trust me. And they don't give them out easily. But this is a press release from the company about NIH coming to the Juice Plus company, wanting to study Juice Plus for a $10 million study, basically looking at aging. There's a lot to this study. And what's really what I love, I think my favorite part of this press is that the bottom where it says this information does not constitute endorsement by any funding agency or university. Juice Plus is providing the investigational product, but is not involved in study design, conduct, or data analysis. What does that mean in real terms? Well, as Dr. Tamara likes to say, it means there's no gag order like any of the studies. Once the money and the product are given to these institutions, they could have found any result. It's really the company taking a risk saying, go ahead and study our product. See if you can, kind of say it doesn't work, right? And basically we're up to now 51 clinical studies. Oh, so not all of them are clinical, but 51 published studies, 48 plus 3 being published. Basically showing, yeah, it works. So, given this information, you kind of have 3 choices. You can either just say, thank you for the information. I think I'll just try to eat more plants. Yay for you if you just chose to do that. The second choice is, you know what? You need to start your day with at least 30 different fruits and vegetables. There's other products too that this company has, but this is like the foundation are these, core blends plus the omega. Maybe start your kid on it as well, right? With the healthy start. And the third choice is, as Dr. Tamara talked about, our company and our mission. Maybe this information is so compelling to you that you also want to share it with other people in your community. So whatever you choose to do, I just want to thank you for being here. I think I'm pretty good on time. That video went a little bit long, but sorry about the sound problem there. But yeah, I hope I made it worth your while to be here today. I can hand it back to you, Tamara.
Oh my goodness, that was just wonderful. Dr. Mitra Ray absolutely made us worth every while. Thank you all for being here. So many we met.
Hey guys, wow, if you want to unmute yourself and tell me what you felt about that information, I thought Mitra did such an incredible job. And aren't you glad that you have Juice Plus circulating in your body every single day? And I apologize for the commercials. I watched it on my phone this afternoon without a single commercial. Go figure. Jen Hageman can maybe help me figure that one out. But I do want to make sure that you have this clinical research overview. If you don't have it, please get with your upline, because the very, very first bullet is after. Imagine a brand new person. You have a brand new customer, a brand new person gets on Juice Plus, and we can see the rise in the polyphenols within the first 2 to 10 hours of either swallowing the capsules or drinking the superfood. Guys, real quick, you remember when Gina Guru last month invited the health editors of all of these magazines to come to a very poshy restaurant in New York? Oprah's health editor was there. In Style, I forget, a whole list of them. They had never heard of Juice Plus. They could not believe that we had been around for 30 years. They were stunned and kind of trying to grasp that we were food in a capsule. They could not believe that. They could not believe that we were up to now 50 pieces of research. And their one question was, well, does it have polyphenols? Does it have We have been in this conversation for over 20 years, and the rest of the world now is just starting to catch on. Be proud, be bold, go tell your friends, your neighbors, and everybody in your community about Juice Plus. See you next week. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.